I started playing competitive table tennis 2.5 years ago with a rating of 1008, and over the course of 15 tournaments, I've been able to grind my rating from 1008 to 1766. Over the next 6 months, I'm going to challenge myself to train as hard as possible to see if I can hit the golden benchmark of table tennis, 2000. This is week 7 of training. Before we dive into the training footage, I wanted to cover a few tips on how to network in the table tennis club. So be sure to keep watching if you're having a hard time finding training partners or just people to play with, and hopefully these tips can help out. Yo, what's up guys? Muscle Pong here, and today I'm going to discuss how to network at the table tennis club. Now you might be thinking this is a very silly topic. This isn't some career fair or like networking event. Like, why do you have to network? But let me just paint the picture with a quick story. The year was 2022 and I had just joined SBTTC around September. So I remember going to the club and it was like basically drop-in hours. I think it was like a weekday or something. And then I went there, but I literally couldn't find anyone to play with except for this one guy named Bart. He's like this 60-year-old Korean grandpa who wore like pulled up khaki pants. And to be honest, he was actually a pretty good hitting partner, just because I don't even know his rating. I was like so bad. I was 1,000 back then. Not bad, but just new, right? I think it's all relative to how long you've been playing. But I remember not only did I feel intimidated to ask the better players, but I feel like I got a vibe that a lot of people just already arranged their own training partners and didn't want to play with me. So I think during the beginning years of my competitive table tennis, I guess, career, if we want to call it that, I definitely felt really intimidated by anyone who looked like they knew what they were doing. But at the same time, I didn't want to go to the club and play Bart, right? It got to the point where every time I entered the club, I was trying to search for new people to play with. Bart sees me and just weighs me down, right? So this kind of brings up the topic, how exactly do you find people to train with, especially those who are better than you, right? This is kind of an enigma for me, because on the one hand, I could ask people, but then on the other hand, if they were nice enough to just hit with me, you get sense that they didn't really want to. At least I could, right? And I'm sure this is a common problem you run into, because it kind of makes sense. I feel like everyone is trying to train to get better. And the truth is, you only can really get better if you train with people around your level, or preferably above your level. It's all about training up, and then you can play up, right? So, damn, that could be a slogan. If I ever make merch one day, maybe I'll put that on one of the shirts. But that's gonna be the topic of the video. This is a bit of a long, winded intro, but essentially I'm gonna give you guys a few techniques or strategies, we can call them, to really network so that you can start finding training partners that want to train with you. So there's really 3 primary ways you can do this. So strategy number 1 is paying, specifically paying for a coach. Now, I will say this is probably the easiest, most straightforward way to get training time in with someone that's better than you, because the coach is literally there to train you. And at a club such as SBTTC, I will say I got super lucky back then when I walked in. And here's the thing, I was really motivated to improve. I feel like a lot of you guys watching this channel are also in the same boat where, have that fire to get better. If you didn't, I don't even know why you're watching me, an amateur. Maybe you guys like the storyline, but yeah, assuming you have that growth mindset when it comes to ping pong, I think coaching is the easiest way to network. And the reason I say that is because most coaches have other students. So then once you become let's say in my case, I was a Richard's student, he's more willing to pair me up with someone else that's around my level, right? Paying to play is literally the easiest way. I feel honestly, when I pay for Richard's coaching, a lot of what I'm paying for is his support as well as network. I think because I'm one of his students, he invited me to his group lesson, and honestly, the group lesson really opened a lot of doors for me, because I started doing a lot of drills that I used to didn't do, right? My training regimen back in the day was literally walking into the club and then playing matches for 95% of the time. The other 5% of the time were spent warming up. It wasn't until I started doing group training where I felt like my progress really skyrocketed. So paying to play is definitely the first way you can network. The second way you can network is by asking people. So now this is a bit trickier, since you kind of have to put yourself out there in terms of risk getting rejected. There's this one guy at our club named Alfred, and he was a massive, he was so mean to me when I first joined. He's kind of a dick. But then once I got better, he really loved hitting with me. Once I improved, right? I bring this example up because if you ask random people to play, obviously use some self-awareness. If it's freaking someone that's 2,400 or even 2,000 and above, and you're 1,200, maybe don't ask them. I would say plus or minus 200 is good. When you ask people, you kind of want to already have some level of fundamentals down. I think as long as you can block That's like the most important thing. If you're good at blocking, like a lot of people actually want to train with you. And also if you're more structured with how you train, I think in general, like the table tennis club, you have like a mixed bag of people from like recreational to super serious, even like the freaking long pips grandpa in the corner that everyone's trying to avoid, you know? It's just a mixed bag of people. So I think if you can bring some value in terms of being able to block, having some focus in terms of training, just because the people who like find training partners and like schedule the time are usually more serious, and they kind of want to have like a set schedule. Those people, if they find someone they like to train with, they're just going to stick with them, right? There's a reason it's so hard for me to train with Vivian, right? She's like so popular. There's like a bunch of people that want to train with her, and she schedules like a week in advance. I gotta like ask her like, hey, can I get on like your schedule, right? If I don't do that, she's like, oh, I already scheduled this person. That's like the benefit of like taking the risk of asking people, is if you're good at like blocking, or like people can sense that you're like willing to learn and like improve with them, then they're gonna be willing to train with you, right? Obviously it's gonna involve trial and error as well as schedule alignment. Like you need to make sure you guys are on the same schedule, but yeah, just like second strategy is just asking people. And then the tip I have for that is get good at blocking in the fundamentals, and people want to train with you. Now, the third strategy to network is to join a group lesson, or even like a team, right? So I think nowadays the meta for a lot of these table tennis clubs is to arrange group lessons, because dude, this is like a money making like system. For example, Richard's one-on-one price, if you're a member, is $75. If you're not a member, it's $85 per hour. His group lesson is the same price but for 3 hours, so like value wise it's like a lot better in terms of like per hour. However, the downside is it's more just like training, and then Richard's not really like as hands-on. So yeah, I would say like try to join these group lessons, because not only do you join like a team and there's a bit of a like camaraderie. I remember like one of the group lesson videos, someone said it's like a wrestling club, very harmonious or something. So not only do you get a sense of camaraderie, which makes it more fun, because like when you play league or you're in the club, you can say hi to people and have friends. You also have like a very dedicated training time, right? Because like for Richard, it's every Sunday from 9 to 12. And then you have that like set 3 hours in your schedule, and there's always going to be people showing up. I would say the group lesson is actually a really great format. And if your club doesn't currently have a group lesson, but there's like a coach there, I would recommend like suggesting the idea, especially if like you have the, you know, critical mass to start the group lesson. Another reason I really like it is because you get some variability in. Usually for Richard's group lesson, you end up training with like 2 to 3 people. And then the mini games and like the golden game thing is, it's just like you play against other people, right? The reason I listed it as like the last tip is because it's not that practical. Let's say you like live in a very rural town where there's barely any table tennis players, then obviously this is not practical. It might be better just to like find a coach. But yeah, I just wanted to touch upon this topic because I felt like when I first joined SPTTC, every time I walked in there, I was very nervous, and it is like an intimidating place if you're like a new 1,000 player like me, and then you see freaking like Aaron, right? The like best player in the club who's 2,400 training, like going ham. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I can respond and give you guys my take in terms of like networking. At the end of the day, just be nice. Like the truth is there are some players that like, especially if they're like above 2,000, they're just like dicks. This is especially the case in Vegas where I first learned to play. Like the people who are above 2,000 there, like they won't even like talk to you or give you the time of day if you're not good, essentially, or like above 2,000. 2,000 is relative, like to a pro, it's not that good, but like the commoner, the average ping pong player, it's good, right? So I think like that gives off the impression that a lot of 2,000 players are like, you know, mean. But the truth is like most 2,000 players are normal. They're just good at ping pong. It's just like you run into some like rotten apples in the bunch, especially if you live in Vegas, and then it makes you just kind of get intimidated and scared. But at the end of the day, if someone's like a lot better than you, like I'd hope you have enough self-awareness not to ask them to train. like unless you're paying them, right? Because they themselves probably have a limited time to train and they're trying to get better. So obviously they're going to practice with people around their level. That's pretty much it. And the rest of this video will just be week 7 of training. So super backlogged with my uploads, but this is from like February. Then I train with Vivian, and then the second training session, I play Vlad. He actually like beat me in these practice matches. I think like he won 2 practice matches, and then they're both 3-2, and then I beat him in the third one 3-0. But I put some of the highlight points. But Vlad's like a solid 1,600 player, and yeah, I put like some points in there, and then I do some multi-ball training.
No. Sorry. No, you should not. Oh, man. Not 10. 我好累，这个就动作做不对。They call me clutch. I gotta lock in. Gotta lock in. Sorry. Wait, 等一下，等一下。One more?
Okay.
What's so funny about that?
It was
Edge.
It was like edge.
Oh my god, let. Sorry.
My strategy is to keep it half long. I'm so bad with that.
Lucky chop, lucky chop. Dude, that's such a nice chop. 他防了我好多挖球。Oh, wow. If you won that first one, you would have won all of them. Ah, 可以。有没有增加脚踝？就是用身体，就是on the bounce，就是一碰台就，那样子，对，那个就对了，对。你那个上旋球可以不要从拍子打，就是这个可以等一下，肌肉压，对。啊，你想要等？对，可以等。对，那个。我觉得我都不用，我就这么想。 转过升招之后点就会变早，是不是？
哎。
你还在等太久，就是
你先让我要
一碰到就
OK，
对，
伟伟还有球。这个是可以冲的。
这样可以吗？
你可以往后上一点。哇，你超热的！不用了，发一个月。我已经在尝试升雕了，我觉得跟我动作还不错。他俩不像升雕的话，变化大。但我感觉我升雕打出来的成绩，
跟你可能上的还是差不多。
没有我反雕打，没有我反雕打出来的。
最后一个项成功，再来两个，让你成功 ，Vlad， 压力大，好。